There's a point in our lives when we meet someone whose energy feels heavy, whose words seem to cut deeper than they should, and whose presence leaves us feeling drained. These are the moments that call for us to stand in our truth, not with aggression, but with clarity. At the heart of navigating toxic relationships lies one crucial truth. You must first recognize your own worth. When we don't fully understand our value, we leave ourselves vulnerable to people and situations that can erode our sense of self. Recognizing your worth isn't about arrogance or superiority. It's about acknowledging that you are deserving of respect, kindness, and peace. This realization is the foundation for setting boundaries, which are essential when dealing with toxic people. Setting boundaries starts with clarity. You need to identify what feels right and what feels harmful in your interactions with others. Toxic people often thrive on pushing limits. They might manipulate, guilt trip, or diminish your feelings to serve their own agenda. Recognizing your worth allows you to see through these tactics and to name what you will and will not accept. For example, if someone consistently criticizes you, a boundary might sound like, "I'm open to constructive feedback, but I won't engage in conversations that feel hurtful or disrespectful." Boundaries are not walls, they are guidelines. They don't shut people out, they show others how to treat you. The difference lies in intention. Boundaries are rooted in self-respect, not in punishment. They are not meant to control the other person's behavior, but to communicate your needs and protect your well-being. This is why recognizing your worth is so critical. If you don't see yourself as valuable, you're less likely to advocate for what you deserve. He says, "In silence, the unseen creates the mystery in the world. If you look through the windows, past all your daily tasks, it's you, your worth, and yourself." Toxic people may test your boundaries. They might resist, argue, or attempt to make you feel guilty. But here's the thing, their reaction is not your responsibility. Boundaries are about you, not them. When you recognize your worth, you can hold firm even in the face of pushback. You learn that saying no is not unkind, it's necessary. Saying no to what harms you is saying yes to yourself. One of the most powerful things about recognizing your worth is how it shifts your perspective. You begin to understand that you don't have to earn love or approval by enduring mistreatment. You don't have to prove your value by tolerating toxic behavior. Your worth is inherent. It's not something anyone else can give you or take away. This realization gives you the courage to set boundaries without fear of losing people who refuse to respect them. It's important to remember that setting boundaries is a practice, not a one-time event. It requires consistency and self-reflection. Sometimes you might falter, giving more than you intended or staying in situations longer than you should. That's okay. Each step, even imperfect ones, brings you closer to a life aligned with your values and needs. In recognizing your worth, you also give permission to others to do the same. You model what self-respect looks like, showing that it's not selfish to prioritize your well-being. It's essential. And when you set boundaries, you create space for healthier relationships to thrive while protecting yourself from the harm of toxic ones. Ultimately, knowing your worth is not just about how you treat yourself. It's about teaching the world how to treat you. Dealing with toxic people can be draining and emotionally overwhelming, especially when their behavior is hurtful or manipulative. The natural response might be to absorb their negativity, internalizing their words, taking on their emotional weight, or feeling responsible for their actions. But the truth is, we can approach toxicity with empathy without letting it consume us. This requires a balance of understanding the other person's pain while maintaining firm emotional boundaries. Empathy is a powerful tool. It allows us to see beyond the surface and recognize that toxic behavior often stems from unresolved hurt, fear, or insecurity. When someone lashes out, manipulates, or criticizes, it's usually a reflection of their own struggles rather than an accurate assessment of who we are. Understanding this doesn't excuse their behavior, but it helps us approach them with compassion instead of anger. When we approach toxicity with empathy, we create space to see the human being behind the harmful actions. We acknowledge their pain without allowing it to dictate our emotions or diminish our sense of self. For instance, if a toxic person constantly criticizes you, empathy might lead you to recognize that their harshness likely stems from their own feelings of inadequacy. This understanding can help you respond calmly instead of retaliating or internalizing their words. However, empathy must come with boundaries. Absorbing someone else's toxicity is not an act of kindness. It's self-sacrifice. When you let their negativity seep into your thoughts, emotions, and energy, you risk losing sight of your own needs and values. Empathy doesn't mean accepting mistreatment or allowing someone's pain to become your burden. It means acknowledging their struggles while protecting your own emotional health. One way to approach toxicity with empathy without absorption is to practice detachment. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring about the person. It means you stop tying your emotional well-being to their behavior. It's the ability to say, I see your pain, but I won't carry it for you. This mindset allows you to maintain your compassion without being overwhelmed by their negativity. Another strategy is to focus on your response rather than their actions. Toxic people may thrive on provoking reactions, but when you remain grounded, you take away their power to disrupt your peace. Instead of reacting impulsively, take a moment to breathe. Assess the situation, and choose a response that aligns with your values. This approach reinforces your emotional boundaries and prevents you from absorbing their negativity. It's also important to remember that empathy doesn't always require engagement. Sometimes the most compassionate thing you can do for yourself and the toxic person is to step back. By disengaging, you protect your peace while giving them the opportunity to reflect on their behavior without the dynamics of conflict or drama. Approaching toxicity with empathy is a skill that takes practice. It requires strength, self-awareness, and a deep commitment to your own well-being. When you master this balance, you transform your interactions with toxic people. Instead of being pulled into their chaos, you become a steady presence, someone who can offer understanding without losing yourself in the process. One of the hardest lessons in life is learning when it's time to walk away, especially when dealing with toxic people. The choice to leave can feel like a defeat, an abandonment, or even a betrayal of hope. But the truth is, walking away is often the most courageous and self-respecting thing you can do. And when you choose to do so with integrity rather than resentment, you reclaim your power and protect your peace. Walking away with integrity begins with the understanding that not every relationship is meant to last. People come into our lives for many reasons, some to teach us, some to challenge us, and others simply as passing companions on our journey. Toxic relationships often hold lessons in self-worth, boundaries, and resilience. When we've learned those lessons, it's okay to let go. Staying too long in toxic situations can diminish our well-being and hold us back from the growth and joy we deserve. Integrity means leaving without bitterness or a desire for revenge. Resentment often stems from unresolved pain, feeling wronged, undervalued, or hurt by someone's actions. But when you carry resentment with you, it doesn't hurt the other person nearly as much as it hurts you. It weighs on your mind, sours your perspective, and keeps you tethered to the very thing you're trying to leave behind. Walking away with integrity means choosing to let go of that weight, not for their sake, but for yours. To walk away with integrity, start by acknowledging your feelings. It's okay to feel hurt, angry, or disappointed. Those emotions are valid, and processing them is a crucial part of healing. But once you've allowed yourself to feel, shift your focus to what you can control, your response. Integrity is about staying true to your values even when faced with negativity. Instead of lashing out or retaliating, choose to leave with grace. This might mean having a calm, honest conversation, or it might mean stepping back without explanation if the situation is too volatile. Walking away doesn't mean you failed or that you're giving up. It means you've decided to prioritize your well-being over trying to change someone who doesn't want to change. It's an act of self-respect, not selfishness. When you leave with integrity, you leave knowing you've done your best, whether that means setting boundaries, communicating openly, or offering empathy. And if your best wasn't enough to change the dynamics of the relationship, that's not a reflection of your worth. Integrity also involves forgiveness, not necessarily for the other person, but for yourself. Forgive yourself for the times you stayed too long, for the moments you let their words or actions get to you, and for any mistakes you may have made in the process. Forgiveness is the key to releasing resentment and moving forward with a lighter heart. Ultimately, walking away with integrity is about choosing freedom over attachment, growth over stagnation, and peace over conflict. It's a declaration to yourself that you are worthy of relationships that uplift and support you. And when you leave with your head held high and your heart unburdened, you open the door to new opportunities, healthier connections, and a deeper sense of self-respect. In the end, dealing with toxic people is not about winning or losing. It's about preserving your sense of self, your peace, and your integrity. Walking away with grace is a declaration of your worth. It's a powerful reminder that you are not defined by the opinions, actions, or negativity of others. When you walk away without resentment, you free yourself from the emotional chains of the past. You show the world and yourself that you are strong enough to let go of what no longer serves you and wise enough to protect your energy for what truly matters. Walking away with integrity doesn't mean you forget the lessons or the pain. It means you refuse to let them define you. It's not about erasing the past, but about choosing a better future. It's about carrying yourself with the dignity and self-respect that toxic people cannot take away from you. So when the time comes to leave, do it with clarity, courage, and compassion for yourself and for them. Let your departure be a reflection of the person you aspire to be, strong, kind, and unshaken. Because walking away is not just an ending, it's the beginning of something better, something healthier, and something profoundly more aligned with the life you deserve. Let's get everybody the words up, Raka and Russ, this weekend. I am so excited for you.